Greetings, it's May 8th, 2016. In the Forward, the weekly, now called Forward, published in New York, the Jewish paper, descended from the old Forwarts, the Jewish paper my grandparents read. They published two letters to the editor on December 22nd, 2000, both critical of a column by the late Forward columnist Leonard Fine, whose writing I greatly admired, especially his last and final column published right around the time of his death. I submitted my own reply in response to the two letters of December 22nd. My letter was published January 5th, 2001, and it was titled Letter Stereotypes Palestinians, if that could be read there. I'm going to read the text of my letter. And it also includes a quote, kind of in larger type in the center there, annihilating their dignity as human beings. Quote, "The Jews completely lack the credentials as an indigenous people. They did not exist as a people. They are a historical fiction without contribution to society's human endeavors. They are identified as a people only by their terrorism and hatred for their righteous, God-fearing Christians," end of quote. Sound like a rewrite of Commandant Amon Goeth's words to his troops at the onset of the liquidation of the Krakow ghetto in the film Schindler's List, or a blurb from a Nazi or Holocaust denial website? I substituted Jews for Palestinians and righteous God-fearing Christians for Jews in Robert Lapin's contemptuous letter to the editor toward Leonard Fine's article regarding Palestinians. The letter by Mr. Lapin was titled Fine's Careless Misstatements on Settlements, as I mentioned, published December 22nd. As a guest lecturer in public and parochial schools, colleges, prisons, and other venues where I teach the Holocaust through the universally understood media of art, my three primary goals are to help restore dignity to the memory of some individual victims of the Shoah, assist students in breaking down gross caricaturing and stereotyping of entire groups of people, and to think about the moral and ethical choices that allowed the Shoah to occur. Of the Palestinians, Mr. Lapin fails on all counts. Not only does he engage in a brutal stereotyping of a displaced people, he seeks to annihilate and quote-unquote ethnically cleanse their very dignity as human beings. This sort of inflammatory rhetoric serves no useful purpose but to fan the flames of violence. That's hardly productive for today's students. Akiva Kenny Segan, Director, Holocaust Education through Art, Seattle, Washington. And a postscript now, it's 15 years later, 15 years and several months later, and several conflicts later, and the vitriol and the invective of Jew against Jew, and all the intense passion around every time there's a conflict, like the Israeli-Gaza wars, Israeli-Lebanese wars, and so on, in which people accuse the other of, one side or the other, of being anti-Israel, pro-Israel, anti-Palestinian, pro-Palestinian, and worse. People are accused of being Nazis and fascists and this, that, and the other. All of which just is a kind of like this never-ending tirade of people engaging in dehumanization of the other, which some of that I addressed in the op-ed published in Real Change, which I will do a recording of for YouTube viewers as well. Thank you.